As we begin this new decade, the country is facing a dangerous weight problem. Consider this: in the late 1970s, 15% of American adults were obese. By the early 90s, that number had jumped to 23%, and most recently, 35%. So how do we reduce our waistlines and return to a healthier state? Seth Doan traveled the nation to weigh what's being done about this growing crisis as CBS reports where America stands.
Okay, 3-piece dark 50 and a diet Pepsi.
The evidence of an epidemic is everywhere. 2/3, 190 million Americans, are overweight or obese.
If you had to grade the United States when it comes to obesity,
well, I'd give us an F.
A national report card no one is proud of. Obesity-related diseases are a nearly $150 billion medical burden every year.
We're going to end up as a nation of cardiac cripples.
Childhood obesity has tripled in the last 30 years. This could be the first generation since the Civil War to have a shorter life expectancy.
It's not hurting, is it?
To gauge the problem, a team of doctors and cardiologists from Houston's Memorial Hermann Hospital set up a MASH unit of sorts in a middle school gym.
You're almost done. Just a few more pictures of your heart, okay?
Running a battery of tests on 97 seemingly healthy children.
I think it is a communication between the aorta and the pulmonary.
But the results?
Houston, we have a problem.
Reveal an alarming reality here.
3 out of every 4 children are either overweight or obese.
That means about 70 of these children are on a high-risk trajectory for coronary artery disease by their 30s and 40s. Dr. Joshua Samuels treats kids with the blood pressure levels of an unhealthy adult. Back at his clinic, 11-year-old Wesley Randall has dangerously high blood pressure and is 60 pounds overweight.
I just eat to solve my problems for some reason.
A few years down the road, these are the people who are going to be flooding into our hospitals and emergency rooms.
15-year-old Emily Allen is trying to avoid just that.
Just what I used to look like and then what I look like now kind of upsets me.
The Hudson, Michigan teen was healthy at age 5, but by 10, she'd become obese and could no longer fit into kids' clothing.
Why did I look like that?
it seems to me that there's some degree of pain or hurt in
guilt.
looking at that. Guilt?
Mm-hmm.
Why guilt?
I just feel guilty that I couldn't change it earlier.
On doctor's orders, Emily joined a weight loss program called Empower at the University of Michigan.
That's better.
Where she's already lost 26 pounds, thanks in part to support from other teens like 16-year-old Amber Bell, who's in an even scarier life and death struggle. She's shed 50 pounds, but still weighs nearly 400.
What made you say, I am gonna make a change here?
I didn't want my parents to feel like I was a failure, and I wanted to have friends.
For Amber, Emily, and so many families, the battle started with money.
So we kind of had to start buying cheaper foods and
that's when you started gaining weight?
Yeah.
Is it a luxury to be able to eat healthy food?
It's becoming more of a luxury.
Kelly Brownell studies obesity at Yale University and says the government does not help by subsidizing corn, an ingredient in virtually every sweetener. Corn farmers were paid $56 billion over the last 10 years by the federal government to grow their crop. Produce farmers, not a dime.
If you go to McDonald's today, you can buy a quarter-pounder with cheese meal. That means the large drink and the large French fries for less than it costs to buy a salad and a bottle of water. There's something wrong with that picture.
We all remember that idyllic Norman Rockwell picture of 1950s America, but that has certainly changed. Today we consume more than 500 extra calories a day than a quarter century ago. It's easy to see why in a place like Baldwin Park, California, population 81,000. With 6 fast food restaurants or convenience stores for every one place that offers fresh produce, this community might seem at the root of the problem. But in fact, it's on the forefront of a grassroots solution. Here, they're trying to innovate. Connie Gonzalez and her mother, Maria,
Here, Connie.
volunteer with the program Healthy Kids, Healthy Communities. The group pushed for a ban on new drive-through windows. Since 2006, not a single fast food restaurant has opened.
Here.
Fresh produce is now stocked in stores that never carried it.
Maybe the big one?
And Maria flags the healthy food for shoppers. Connie helped convince the school board to make salad bars a staple. And 100 minutes of weekly phys ed is now mandatory. With all this, in 5 years, 135 kids here are no longer overweight.
Why does it take a whole community?
Because one individual can't really change much, but if a city comes together, we can change a whole lot.
But that's not enough, says Kelly Brownell. He likens the war on obesity to the one against tobacco.
The parallels are stunning. Marketing to children, distorting the science, influencing policymakers and the like.
The consumer is bombarded by the food industry, which spent $30 billion on advertising last year. And even the world's largest nutrition group, the American Dietetic Association, has a list of sponsors that includes the very companies selling unhealthy products.
The single best thing that ever happened to fight tobacco were high taxes on cigarettes.
Those taxes increased the cost for a pack of cigarettes and led to a drastic drop in smoking. Brownell's studies show that a penny per ounce tax on sugared beverages like soda would cut consumption and raise billions that could fight obesity.
Isn't it our own responsibility to moderate our behavior?
The personal responsibility approach is a fine place to start, but we've been doing that for 40 years now, and we're losing the battle with obesity. That's been an experiment that has failed.
But additional taxes and more regulation are certainly a tough sell. A CBS News poll released just minutes ago shows that 60% of people oppose a tax on junk food. So while we may agree that something must be done in this battle against obesity, Katie, we do not agree on what.
Meanwhile, junk food and no PE seems like a recipe for disaster for so many kids in this country. It's heartbreaking.
It is.
And good luck to all those kids who are trying to get healthier. Seth Dohm, thanks so much for that great report.